think we'll start. I have got here all our cosplay guests, starting with Bundela from India, Wolfoty from Ukraine, Fenix Fatalist from Ukraine, Anaelic from Scotland, Yaya Han from USA, and Paraluna from Holland. Yeah. So, I'll be just asking you questions. I will leave it to you who will answer. If you have something to say, I will not force you if you will not. If you want to, I'm not.
They can get to know us.
Okay.
Might be better than this to start.
Okay, go for it.
Oh, we get to start. Hi, we are Team Paraluna. We are a cosplay duo from the Netherlands. My name is Lisa, and this is Sophie. We specialize in cosplay competitions. We've represented the Netherlands in competitions all over the world, most recently in South Korea, but we've been to World Cosplay Summit, to Geek Off in China, Paris, London, you name it, basically. So, and thank you so much for having us. And this is my first time in Czech Republic, and it's great. Thank you. Hi, I'm Yaya Han. I'm from the USA, America, and this is my first time in the Czech Republic as well. I've been cosplaying for a really long time. This has been my only job for over 10 years, probably close to 15 or 18. It's kind of crazy. But I travel around the world. I love meeting communities and cosplayers. And honestly, we are here for you. You know, they brought us here so we can answer questions about us. But also, if you have a question about something that you're going through or a project you're working on, please don't hesitate. Add your questions to the slide. So, yeah.
Hi, my name's Amber, or Anaelic. I'm from Scotland and the United Kingdom. I've been cosplaying since 2012, so quite a long time. This is my first time in the Czech Republic as well. I hope you enjoy our panel today.
Hey everyone, my name is Maria and I go with nickname Fenix Fatalist. I am a Ukrainian cosplayer and entrepreneur, so I run my own costume production studio, which name is FD Cosplay Studio. And that's not my first time in Czech Republic, but that's my first Anime Fest. And honestly, I already enjoyed so much and can't wait for this weekend. So I'm doing cosplay, I think, for 15, a lot of years, okay? And I'm doing this as my business and full-time job with my husband since 2015. So right now we have a team crew from over 20 people who work with us. And honestly, this is the best stuff that I was able to choose in my life. So thank you for having us and feel free to ask questions.
Hello, I'm Wolfoty. I'm from Kharkiv, Ukraine, and I made cosplay more than 7 years. Me and my husband made all photo, costumes, crafts, stuff, and idea. We some specialization on Korean cosplays, but we just enjoy it, and it's work. So nice to see you.
Hi, I'm Samir Tikka Masala. And from my name, you can tell I'm from India and I love food. So I've been cosplaying for around 11, 12 years. And this is also my first time in Czech Republic, and I'm absolutely in love with the place already. So I'm, apart from cosplay, I work as a art director, and I make costumes and props and stages, whatever, for TV shows, movies, and etc. So I'm really excited to be here, and I'm really excited to hear your questions. Don't ask me if I like pineapple on pizza.
Well, you can keep the mic, and I think that you should have 2 mics. That you have, there's the second one. Yeah, so you've got one for each couch, so you won't steal from each other. So I think that we'll start. Our audience already did a few questions, so I will start with the first one. What I forgot to mention was that if you like some question and would like to have it answered, just add like. The more likes, the higher the question goes. So that's how it works. So, The first question is there any cosplay that you were unable to finish? And if yes, why?
I'm probably not the best person to answer this one because I usually do finish all the costumes, just because materials are quite expensive. So if I already have the materials, I feel bad if I don't finish it. So I don't know if someone else wants to take this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I have a whole list of cosplays that I've started but not able to finish. Like when we started, like I said, like I started some 11, 12 years ago, and there were not a lot of resources, and in India the internet was also really shitty. So we were mostly just, like everything, like even now when we are making a cosplay, it's mostly like a hit and trial method, and like we see where till what height we can push our ambition, and not a lot of times we push it too high and fail, but that's the part of learning cosplay. So yeah, I definitely think after every 2 builds I become too either proud or too confident, and then I pick up something extremely complicated and then fail, and then but my next build is always better because of the failure that I had in the past one.
Isn't it also because you have less time when you are working on the film and the programs you do? Very busy. So it's also about time, not just about the prices, right? Because we're all adults and it's very busy time. Okay, anybody else has something to add? Some unfinished cosplay?
Yeah, I have a very sad story because usually when you have this unfinished costume is one of your most pretentious cosplays that you ever wanted to make. So for me, I really wanted to do a Fate cosplay with my husband, and I really didn't want to. I did want to do a mashup with Saber and Gilgamesh with their original outfits plus Dark Souls aesthetics. So I wanted to make it glorious because I really love these characters, but their design is kind of a bit meh, so I wanted to do it bring on the next level. And I've been working for that just for Comic-Con Ukraine, and then COVID arrived. And every time when I've been doing this cosplay, I was like, yo, bro, so we're gonna do that, but what next? Yeah, and I was like, okay, we will wait until the COVID will be done. And then I guess it's never happened. And sometimes I just open this box, I look to all these details that I dreamed and everything, and I'm like, okay, maybe next life. Maybe next life. So yes, that's my sad story about unfinished costume.
Maybe we'll finish in one day. COVID's already over, so maybe we'll have time and the fire needed in you to finish it.
I really hope so, because this is couple project and I'm always so hyped about couple projects with my husband.
Well, it really sounds nice, so I hope you'll finish it one day.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, another question is, favorite anime character? If only you have one.
Well, one of my favorites is one, but I hope people won't be angry at me, is Light Yagami from Death Note.
He's charming.
I have too many favorites. I can't answer just one.
Just mention a few. I think that they will like it.
You really some of my favorite anime. I mean, I love Edge Runners. Recently cosplay from it. I love Belle. Cosplay from that too. Promare. I think my favorite characters are the ones I cosplay. So that's probably how you can tell who I love.
Just wanted to mention that if they want to know who you like, just go to your Instagram account and see.
Look at my cosplays.
Yes.
So my first anime that I ever watched was Naruto, and during that time I was around 14 and I was really obsessed with Rock Lee for some reason. I don't know why, but yeah, I just wanted to be different. So yeah, Rock Lee is my favorite character for a while.
I think for me, my first ever favorite character be Utena from Revolutionary Girl Utena, and I fell in love with her, and I think she determined my personality till today. Yeah, to be this brave girl who helps everyone. Later, when I grew up, I realized that I need to adjust somehow this idealistic perspective. Besides that, I also love a lot Ryuko Matoi from Kill la Kill, because she also has some type of personality that I'm really willing to have. She's stronger than me, and she's more a bit kind of more brutal, and sometimes I really miss it hard. And for now, I think I really enjoyed your forger because, again, like, yeah, it's a couple cosplay. But I think the problem here is the older you become, the harder it is for you to find some characters that you can relate to. Because most of them are like strictly oriented more for younger audience, and when you become older, it becomes more complicated. But when you choose one, it goes just to the bottom of your heart.
But what you tell, I think that one criteria for you is strong girls characters. Did you like strong girl characters?
Definitely. I really love strong characters, like strong, feminine, Aloy, Merida, all that is definitely something that I'm going up to.
That's very nice.
Sad story, but my education is psychologist, and it's, I think, reason why I love a cold type of character with, I mean, trauma and background or something. So I think my favorite character is Levi from Attack on Titan. I mean, yeah.
I'm very simple-minded. My favorite character is Faye Valentine.
Why not?
I watched it at the very right age. So Cowboy Bebop, favorite anime. Faye Valentine, favorite character.
There's a lot of fans of Cowboy Bebop in Czech Republic as well, and they didn't like the Netflix adaptation they did, so...
But I would rather not talk about it.
It never happened. Okay, I think we'll go to other question. If you could have only one advice to people who start with cosplay, what would it be?
If I have to say, like, because I take a lot of, in India, like, cosplay is like very new. I mean, we still have very few cosplays over there, and a lot of people don't even understand what it is. So I take a lot of workshops, and what I've figured is, like, the very important thing when you are starting cosplay is to choose a character that you are really passionate about. Because the thing is, your first build is always gonna be really frustrating and irritating. I mean, unless you're like some like child prodigy who was like already sewing very well, and then, you know, you are like A+ student in your arts or whatever. If you are like a normal person like me and you start cosplay, you have to be really passionate about the character that you choose, because then only you will like wade through all the, you know, hardships and then pull through. And like once you have done that first cosplay, you get addicted. They don't tell you that over here in all the conventions, but this is a drug. So you get addicted really quickly. So just make sure that your first cosplay is something that you really, really, really want to make, and then there's no stopping.
I think that I read about Fenix and Yaya, who are helping fresh new cosplayers try new things. Is it right that you you are competing for a very long time, and you have got the experience? And I hope that I said it right. And I think that I'd read that you try to help new cosplayers as much as possible with new things. If they want to try something, if they want to try new technique, and if they ask about it, that you are like the guide to that technique if you know it.
I see. So yeah, I think, like, besides what Samir said about choosing a character that you love, always choose a character that you love, because that's going to get you through the really hard nights of crafting. But the other thing I would say is to take advantage of the resources, and just know the cosplay is a very inclusive community where it's okay to ask questions, it's okay to seek out information, and everyone is very keen on sharing information. So you have plenty of resources. You can learn just about anything through YouTube and through Googling. And for someone like me in America, I actually also design cosplay-focused fabrics and commercial sewing patterns that are available in craft and sewing stores across the country. And so it's like, for me, that's a passion of mine, is to make more resources available to cosplayers and create lasting, durable, interesting fabrics and patterns that can help them start making costumes. So it's out there.
As well as choosing a character that you're really passionate about, I would also suggest if you're planning on making your first costume, definitely choose one that's more simple, because if you try to make one that's too difficult at first, you will just get overwhelmed and then you might be disappointed with the outcome. Whereas if you choose something simple, you're more likely to do a good job that you're proud of, and then sort of work your way up in terms of difficulty with the costumes that you make.
And besides the advice that I always give to people who might teach not even cosplay creation but business or content creation, is that this requires two very important resources like time and practice. Because people sometimes come to cosplay and they expect that they will finish full costume in a very short amount of time, and also that they gonna skyrocket and things will start to work out immediately. And in most cases, it doesn't work like that. And people usually look at some high skill specialists who are doing this for years, and they think, oh my God, why I can't do this from the first try? But for us, it's not a first try. It's 100 try, and there are tons of fails. And that's what I always advise to anyone who would like to enter into cosplay creation, that you need to invest. In anything that you are doing, you need to invest. Here, invest your money, your effort, and your time, which is the most valuable in my humble opinion.
I think I can give a recommendation from a psychology side. For me, it's also very huge part in cosplay, technology or something, because so much people stop in cosplay because they think people see on them and think, oh, you have bad cosplay, you have bad level. No, it's absolutely no one to see on you from a bad side, and it's only in your hand. You just need to do what you want, because cosplay, it's not a beauty concourse. It's hobby, and it's happened only for you, because it's want to make some more happiness in your life. Sorry, my English little bit worse. I think it's my mind. Just no worry, no one not see on you from this side.
Thank you very much. I've just wanted to ask if you ever get a feedback from somebody you have helped, and if they wrote you back on your social media that they were thankful. I think that if you remember something like that, you were cosplay has meaning for me, and I'm glad I had the opportunity to help this person with their question, with their task.
Beyond that, that's great.
That's really nice to hear.
I have a very super inflated ego about that, because I have taken a lot of workshops, and someone tells me, "Oh, I saw your workshop, I got interested." Yeah, I'm really a huge ego about that.
I think also the most fun part about doing workshops, especially when you get new cosplayers or first-time people, is that magical moment where they start out saying, I can't do this, and then 2 hours later they did that, So that is always really fun. That is very rewarding.
And they are feeling accomplished like I did it, so I can continue the cosplay career I dreamed of for me. Okay, thank you very much for your answers. We have got an interesting one. What was the hardest part of becoming a full-time cosplayer?
So I quit my day job, which was working at just doing run-of-the-mill IT work at a cubicle. So I quit that job in 2005 to cosplay. And I think I was 10 years too early. So, but for me, it was just sort of the way to live my life to the fullest and be able to immerse myself in this world completely. And so, of course, the hardest part of doing cosplay full time was learning how to not only make costumes and make costumes for other people, but also how to run a business, communicate, figure out contracts, negotiating with conventions. And so it's been a very grassroots, long-term effort for me to reach, I guess, the success that I have. But I don't regret any part of it. And I think now cosplay is such a vibrant commercial community that you can enter cosplay with the intention of becoming a professional cosplayer. That's something that when I did it in 2005 was not a thing at all. So nowadays you have a lot more options to pursue it. And so maybe some of you who have, made the jump, more recently than me can speak on that.
So I've only been a full-time cosplayer for less than 2 years. Before that, I studied engineering at university, and I then graduated and worked as an engineer for just over a year, and I absolutely hated it. And the thought of doing that for the rest of my life was just awful. So I made the decision to quit my job and start cosplaying. Obviously, I've cosplayed for many years before that, but never full-time. My parents were very worried about me when I told them that. They didn't approve of it, but since then, I've showed that there are so many different ways to make money from cosplay. For example, now that COVID's over, we can get invited to events like this. For me, I mostly make money from selling tutorials and patterns online. But the hardest part, I think, is obviously, if you're self-employed, there's not any guarantee of income, and that's something I'm constantly worried about. So I think it's sort of just getting used to that. And it can be quite a lonely job as well, because when you're not at cons like this surrounded by people, you usually are just by yourself crafting at home for weeks on end. So right now I'm surrounded by so many people, but once this event's over, I'll just go back to grinding out another costume. So I think it's trying to keep a good balance of everything, which I'm still trying to figure out myself. So it's good to be around all these people because they've been cosplaying even longer than I have. So I'm already learning things from them.
I think for me, when I switched to full-time cosplay, it wasn't actually planned, never, and it's never been, oh my God, I'm going to live my dream. Actually, I wasn't able to find a job as a lawyer in Ukraine at that moment, so I just started to look for any side hustle. And then it started to develop as a business, and I understood that I really can build it up. And what I can say is that there are two essential things which are still very complicated for me. First thing is that if you want to make cosplay your full-time job, you need a solid strategy and how you gonna set it up. It's not okay, I will become a full-time cosplayer. How you gonna monetize it? How you gonna get money? How you gonna contact companies? How you will be focused? Are you B2C? Are you B2B? How you gonna pitch yourself? Do you want to work with agency? Do you want to work on your own? How are you going to select it? A lot of questions that you need to answer in advance. And it's always good, don't look to this as to job. Look to this as to your own business. If you open business, you need investments. Save up money in advance because you will need time when you will switch from part-time job to full-time creator. Bear in mind that you are really a freelancer and you need to invest a lot to grow out. Going to convention means money. Doing costumes means money. And if you are doing them by yourself, it's your time and it's your job and it should be paid so you can pay your own bills. And the second stuff that I always suggest to keep eye on is people communication. Here it's a fun moment because many people think that I'm very extroverted because I chat with people. It's not true, so I'm introverted. I'm really on my own and I'm good with that. I supposed to become like this because I was that's part of the business that I am doing. I learned how to communicate. And when people say, oh my God, I'm shy, I'm introverted. If you want to make it full-time job, that's something that you need to develop. It's a skill. And also, it's a big skill to communicate with your words through your mouth. You need to get how other people think. You need to talk with them. Be very boring, repeat and repeat stuff. But that's how you really can clear things out and build proper relationship with people, with your partner, with your employees, with literally with everyone. Communication and strategy are two key if you would like to make it your full-time job.
I'm not a full-time cosplayer.
And are anyone of you planning or like jumping to the full-time cosplayers in the future? Like, do you feel that accomplished, or do you feel brave enough to do your own business, or are you planning to keep the normal job and do cosplay on the side? I think Sophie was a master dentistry.
Yeah, I am a dentist,
Yeah.
and I'm quite happy being a dentist.
I
So-
think the dentists also earn very much money, so that,
Well, it's fun because there's actually so much overlap between cosplay and dentistry, and you're all gonna look at me like, "What the fuck did she just say?" But it's actually true because, like, the materials that we use in cosplay, you know, the silicone, the plaster, the 3D printing, all of that is in dentistry as well, but it's in miniature. So, like, I go to work, I do all this in miniature. I go home, I do it big size. It's cool.
that sounds very nice. Wow, didn't expect that answer. So you are happy with your job, like you have chosen dentistry because you knew you would be interested further on, not like, for example, Anaelic, who did college and found out that cosplay was better choice for her.
It was, well, we were at some point, I was in art school at some point, and I think it was like almost at the end, and we sat down and we were like, are we going to do this professionally? And I was like, no. I really enjoy the freedom of being a cosplayer who is not bound to anything, who does not need to run a business. You know, if I want to take a week off, I take a week off. And if I want to craft all weekend, then that's what I'll do. So it is a completely different type of life where you're not bound to anything, but you obviously also have less time and resources to spend on it.
I just wanted to quickly add as well that you don't have to do cosplay as your full-time job to be a successful cosplayer. I know many people that are amazing cosplayers and also guest at events, and cosplay isn't their full-time job. Another common misconception people have is that you need to have some sort of professional experience. Like, I've never taken a proper sewing class. Like, everything that I've learned, and I'm sure other people too, was just self-taught from like YouTube tutorials and things like that. I would love to go to a proper like sewing or pattern making course, but to make this your job, you don't necessarily have to have like went to art school or anything like that. Like I said, I studied engineering, which doesn't actually help with cosplay too much because it's very like science, maths, which doesn't come into sort of. Yeah, I guess so. Like 3D modeling and stuff like that. But yeah, if you're like a creative person naturally, you can always just have cosplay as a hobby aside from your normal job and just enjoy it that way.
I'm technically not a full-time cosplayer, but I'm a full-time fabricator, and it kind of happened through cosplay. So I used to be a photographer early on, and then used to do cosplay as a hobby, and then I became a full-time cosplayer. And when I started making really good cosplays, then industry people started approaching me for projects from productions and whatever. So I kind of slightly shifted from full-time cosplay to partial cosplay, partial fabrication work. So I would say like definitely being a full-time cosplayer is a very there's a lot of factors involved here. Like luck also plays a big factor. You know, like how you have to put you have to put in so much time and effort. And there's always not a guarantee that it works out. But it doesn't mean, like Anaelic said, that being a professional cosplayer is not equivalent to being a full-time cosplayer. You can still sustain yourself in different ways, and you can also still do cosplay gigs and do amazing stuff in cosplay. Like I don't have a very huge following, but I do get to come to like some really cool events like this, and like that's the main driving factor for me. The community is so cool. So you don't have to push yourself in a box that, you know, you have to cosplay full time. You can be a part-time cosplayer and still be an amazing professional cosplayer.
Okay, guys, thank you very much for your answers. Something else to add? Okay. So, audience is another question. Is there any difference between cons in your country and here? And I think that meant like the differences between countries you have visited and your country and Czech Republic, for example. You are here for the first day, so I don't think you had the time to really walk around very much. So I think if you mention some differences or the biggest differences you have saw yourself in other countries you have visited, I think that it will answer also.
So it is hard to tell, obviously, because it's just like day one of the con. But so far, the main difference is that it's a lot warmer here. I'm from Scotland, so like every con of the year is like freezing. Because I hear, like American cosplayers complain about the heat in cosplay. I've almost never been too hot in a costume. I'm always too cold in costume. So yeah, it's a lot nicer to be able to walk outside in costume here and not be like freezing cold. That's the main difference for me so far.
The main difference between the cons in India and over here is that the cons are colder here. Yeah, so like India is very warm, very humid, and over here it's colder than here, so I'm really enjoying it. But yeah, like the convention, just the setup, I love this venue. I think this is the most beautiful venue for a convention that I've been. It's like a cosplay cathedral or something. So yeah, I'm really excited about tomorrow, but I've already had an amazing day today.
I'll say something. So I'm from the United States, and we have thousands of conventions. I feel like it's like not even hundreds anymore. At least in North America, if you count Canada and Mexico, it's like multiple thousands. So I would say in the North America, there are a lot of really large industry conventions and many different types that, like cover the gamut of pop culture. I really personally enjoy smaller events where you can interact with the public more. And I'm also, my fandom roots are from Japanese anime and manga and such. So I tend to choose anime conventions. So when I travel, I get a lot of questions of like, why are you at this tiny event? Like I was just in Norway last weekend at a very small event that was like held in a cinema. And they were just like, what are you doing here? And I had to explain that, it's like the big San Diego Comic-Con or New York Comic-Con or Chicago, C2E2. Like I've done all of those, and it's always really hot. It's very hot and very chaotic, and I really like this event for the community feel. I don't think it's a industry driven convention. It is really a convention made for fans, by fans. And so I really enjoy sort of the atmosphere, the emphasis on cosplay, that they have multiple cosplay contests. And I hope that we, can share more of this in America as well.
Well, I mean, we haven't been here that long, and like I said,
Yes.
first time in Czech Republic. But yeah, the atmosphere is great and the venue is beautiful. So I'm already very happy with
This
this.
is just a part. The EU have walked through this also a part of this convention, so it's really big. And we also have parts outside, so if you have time, you can check outside food trucks and everything.
Yeah. So yeah, in the Netherlands, we do have a lot of cosplayers that are also very focused on the cosplay contests. And what I really like about the cosplay scene in the Netherlands is that everybody helps each other like really well. When there's a contest and somebody's having trouble with something, then we're all like, well, we want you all to be able to compete at your best. So let's make it through this. You can do it. Let's go on that stage.
I think it's in here as well. When I look over the cosplay content, there are people who help each other, even though that they are competing against each other. So that's really nice.
That's beautiful. Yeah. About difference in some countries, cosplay it's like a concourse where you try to do the best costumes. In some parts in Europe, it's just a hobby where you just can relax it. I think it's a difference in what you feel in that. But I can maybe give some experience from Asian. I visit
3 convention in Japan, and in Japan it's more demonstrate area where people can see how cosplayers looks, made a picture. It's not like one pavilion where all guest cosplayers. It's like exhibitions of people where you can demonstrate your costumes and speak with your fans and followers. Yeah, something like that. In Europe, it's we have different pavilion everywhere. It's one of Aliyev afters. It's second one. It's customs. Third, it's just concerts. I think I prefer more this type because you can choose what you need to do. And I'm a little bit nervous if it's just like exhibitions. It's my experience.
Yeah. I think for me, I really love like Eastern European conventions because I see some similarities. In Ukraine, we used to have Comic-Con Ukraine, and I really see this, you know what's the similar vibe about that? You have like we all have here like amazing buildings where this happens. For example, in Western Europe and United States, you usually have the special exposition centers, and here you have this for example this modern building. Comic-Con Ukraine been happening in old factory, which was fully reassured, and it has a great stage and everything, and this makes every con experience quite unique. I also enjoy because on Eastern European conventions you usually have a lot of activities. It's not for example, expo hall, artist alley, and stage, and that's it. No. You will have a bunch of those. You can go to LARP stage. You can go to, play D&D. You can go, there are so many stuff that you can check out, and that's why I'm absolute fan of Eastern European conventions. And besides that, I also enjoyed the stuff, it's not really common in any other countries, but in Ukraine, we used to have a traditions where you have the big cosplay competition, and it works the same as any other country, yeah? People do costumes by themselves, prejudging everything, and it's hard way. Or you can go on stage, you still can prepare your skit, prepare your performance, but you don't need to be that solid. For example, it's fine if you will have, for example, a pre-made or commissioned even costume. As soon as you don't tell that someone else, that you made it, yeah? If someone else made it, you are still allowed to go on stage and have your fun and show your performance and even win something. And this makes this experience quite unique because it brings much more performers. Because, for example, professional dancers come in, professional, singers are coming, people who are professional performers because they are able to show themselves on a great stage. That's something that I truly enjoy, and I really hope that one day this also might be added as an extra to some other conventions because people really enjoy performance and they love to see it on stage. And so we still have these high build brands and everything. And besides that, we also have some small extras for people to have a small bite of that, cosplay performing, for deciding do they want to go to hard league or just fun as it is.
We don't have that here, but it sounds very nice actually to be able to just, even both costume, to go on the stage and do your best and make fun for people, dance for people, what you have wanted, what you have prepared for them. We have here the Cosplay Debat, which is a competition for a new or starting cosplayers where they can gain new ideas, and they can also win some prizes, and then maybe next year go to the full competition. So I think that is, but you're not competing cosplayers, dancers sounds very interesting. Didn't see that anywhere yet.
Because it makes cosplay more accessible for beginners, so they can try it out and go over and over, and so it's leveling up. It's not you enter to hard level from the very beginning. So that's why I really enjoy.
Thank you very much for your answers. If you should recommend one convention from your country, which would you recommend?
We know so many organizers from so many conventions in the Netherlands. I'm definitely going to lose some friends over this. I think if you're into anime and video games, AnimeCon, but wait until they go to the next location.
And if you're into Dungeons and Dragons, Roll Initiative Con, which is like a very small starting con, but we went to the first edition and it was great. So
We just go down the line. All right, the one I would recommend in America is called Dragon Con. And it's one of the biggest conventions in America with over 100,000 visitors. It's in Atlanta, Georgia, which is where I'm from, actually, so it's very convenient. But the unique thing about Dragon Con is that it's the only convention where I have seen that all fandoms are welcome and that it's very, very costuming and cosplay focused. Like 80% of people at Dragon Con are in costume at some point. And it's like, it was 4 days, now it's like 4.5, 5 days. It takes over all of Atlanta downtown, and it is a party con, but it's also a convention with multiple costume contests. So people bring their biggest, most impressive costumes during the day, and then at night they change into silly drinking costumes from the most obscure, random, sources. Could be from TV show, movies, from mashing up different things, anime, game, just like literally you name it. Books, people cosplay characters from books. And the panels are all really, really interesting. They're different tracks. And then they also have celebrity guests. And it's like the best shopping that you can do at a convention. Like it's like the shopping, like the vendor hall is not a hall, it's a building. It's like a huge 4-story building of just vendors. And so that's the one that I would suggest for you to look up, do research on, look up videos, Dragon Con. And it's a great time. Maybe I'll see you there one day.
So in the UK, our biggest con is called MCM London. It runs twice a year. Honestly, I feel like the event itself is one of these, it's a very industry big event. So these days I mostly just go there to see friends, rather than go to many of the panels of the event itself. Like a lot of the conventions in the UK, I feel like a lot of the community were just sort of there to see our friends and meet up with them. Because I have been to a few conventions in other countries, and for example, this con, like some of you said earlier, it's a very sort of community-focused con. We don't really have too many of those in the UK because it is quite a small country. But the few ones we have, they are very small cons, but they are really good. Like for example, we have one called Chcete, which is another community-based con. It's an 18+ con, so it is sort of like a party con, but I've made some of my best cosplay friends there over the years, so yeah.
Yeah, I know it's a bit hard topic. Okay, we have one incredible convention that I always suggest to everyone, and this is Comic-Con Ukraine. It was developed by a very experienced team, and in my opinion, I've been to various conventions in America, in Europe, in Japan as well, but as a visitor. But still, this is my favorite go-to. Right now, it's sadly not an option for us. And I know that even after everything will be ended, it still will need time for people to be familiar with the idea to come into my country. But I hope that years will pass, and if you still will be on cosplay stage and you will hear announcements that Comic-Con Ukraine is back, please come to see us because we have extremely talented people and the whole event is just incredible. And I really hope that I will be able to meet up day when it will come back again.
I'm totally agree with Maria. I visit Comic-Con Kyiv only one time, and for my opinion, it's the same. I think it's the most complicated and nice and biggest convention in Europe what I visit. So after war, I really recommend to visit that.
Save your money, go to Dragon Con. That's what I'm trying to do. Come to India for food, not for cosplay, yet.
Thank you very much for your answers. I hope that we will be able to visit Ukraine one day after the Comic-Con. You said that it's held in old factory, right?
And it's next to our production, actually. And like it's happening next to our production workshop, so come and guest and say hi to us. Well, we'll be happy to see you guys.
Okay. Yeah, what's the longest time you worked on a cosplay and which one? If you have some, I know that you can also work on a cosplay and do it in a very short time because you enjoy it so much. So if there is some project you had which took a long time.
Yeah, we've had several competition cosplays that we worked on for a full year. So we make like a set, and then one for her, one for me, to then enter the preliminaries at the year after. So yeah, those are pretty long costumes to work on. One of those was Keith and Fowlin from Guild Wars 2. So we were like plant people, and like everything needed to be like with prosthetics and everything. So yeah, that took a long time, but we were very proud of the results.
Yeah, it was fun because we were like in a tiny student's room trying to transform ourselves into basically two people that were not people. They were fully plants, and we had to try out so many different techniques and trying to make this look both realistic and believable. And we had this tiny room that was just completely filled with all kinds of leafy prototypes, and yeah, that was our life for a year.
It's very difficult to define. What do you say, like how much time you've been working on a cosplay? Because there have been cosplays that have been in my mind since I started cosplaying back in 2011, and I would say that every time I'm learning a new technique, I have in mind, okay, that. So like I am very bad with wigs, okay. So I still have to learn that. I'm still learning sewing. So that basically qualifies as working on that particular cosplay. I have always that cosplay in the back of my mind, and I'm always looking at materials, looking at new techniques. So I would say like I've been working on a cosplay for like 7 or 8 years now, because I'm still learning techniques that I have to for that cosplay. I don't think so. I can define.
Costume. What is it?
I am not gonna tell you. Okay.
Secret.
It's a very stupid one. But as a kid, I was really obsessed with Medusa. So yeah, I've always had a dream that I want to do like a full Gorgon cosplay with like moving hairs and like prosthetics and all those kinds of things. So it's one of my dream cosplay, and every time I'm choosing something, I'm always looking to learn something which might add towards that cosplay.
I'm just going to say, I don't think it matters how long you spend on a costume, because it's like, if somebody made a costume in 2 weeks, doesn't mean it's a bad costume, or if someone spent 2 years on a costume, doesn't mean it's the most amazing costume in the world. It's like, we all have different circumstances. It's like for people who like us who travel a lot, we have to sort of binge craft and kind of make a costume within a month or something, so that we can go on to the next convention and show it off and such. And so like how long you spend on a costume is not a merit. It's like that really is totally arbitrary. It's more about the effort you put into it, the things that you learned, and the fun that you had spending time with a character. So like I try to not put that much,
Yeah, same. Like exactly. Like there's a lot of times, like when I'm taking part in cosplay competitions, and it's like people ask me, like my fellow competitors, they ask me like, how much time did you take to make this cosplay? And I'd say like a month or two, and they're like, whoa, how did you manage that in a month or two? Because I'm jobless. Like this is my job. Basically those 2 months is not like I'm chilling and relaxing, because I have such a short timeline of making this cosplay. I'm waking up in the morning, working all day, and basically killing myself in those 1 or 2 months. So like she said, it doesn't really matter how long you have been working. It's different for everyone.
Okay. Anybody else ask something? Okay. I think that we will do one more question and then finish the panel as we are on time. So I think do you want to choose which one you want to answer? I will let you choose. The first one. Okay. So is there any technique in cosplay making in which you want to be more experienced?
I really want to get better at wig making. I have always hated wig making. I feel like it's so messy because you get all the hair is like stuck to your fingers when you're working on it, and I just like don't enjoy it at all. But unfortunately, every single character pretty much needs a wig, so I also feel like it's one of the most useful style techniques to learn. Especially nowadays, it's quite interesting because back when I started cosplaying, you couldn't really buy as many costumes. So people, like pretty much everyone would have to make their costume, whereas these days it's a lot easier to buy a costume. But clearly people still want to be creative, so I'm now seeing a lot of younger cosplayers going like really hard with their wig making. Like younger cosplayers these days are making these like amazing wigs, which I think is really interesting, because obviously that's, you know, a creative outlet from them. So, you know, I learned wig style and stuff from young cosplayers now.
Can I answer on last questions about dream?
You can, of course.
Okay. My dream in cosplay, it's made the professional video like a movie because it's so hard. I mean, photo is absolutely hard, but you can, correct it in Photoshop or something if something destroyed. But video, it's another level and it's so hard. It's 1,000 million different location. It's you need to know all techniques with video making, and now people more love video. I think my dream it's made a professional movie like that.
I think you have what character?
What character?
What is your dream cosplay? You have to tell the character. She forced me to tell me you have to do that.
I don't know, maybe it's different for a character, just it just type about in dream, if I understand correctly.
Well, dream cosplay, like if you don't have anyone, yeah.
Sure. Okay.
I think you already won. You already do the one you love the most.
I don't know because I'm realized all my dream already. I made 3D graphics. I drew latex black suit with Cindy from Evangelion. I think if I dream about something, I always take it.
I think you have also started to make a short, like clips or movies with a partner, if I have seen correctly.
Yes, it's true.
And so you plan on like prolong it through time and do more like more places you will take videos of and then connect it in some program and do more for fans like that.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. Found nice location. It's biggest work also for photo shooting and for video making. And yeah, I really love horror movie and I want to try make in horror movie style video make. It's my dream.
In Czech, we have hrad called Houska, and it's said that it's that there's a gate to hell in there because all technique you have stops working when you go there. So if you like try to fly drone there, it won't start. It will just say that the battery is dead. So if you want to choose questions to answer, you can.
I already told my dream cosplay.
Yeah.
I want to talk about what's my favorite part of making a costume.
Okay.
And that's basically the part where I'm not making the costume, the planning stage, the research. I actually really enjoy like researching and, like I said, learning new techniques. Whenever I'm choosing a cosplay, especially because I love competing in cosplay. Like I've been competing, like the first year I cosplayed, I didn't compete, but after that, like it's been like 11 years of constant competing. So I always get so excited when I see a character and I see a challenge that I have no clue how to tackle. So I go on internet, I see like all the different people who have probably made that cosplay, see all the tutorials from all the legends like Yaya Han and all. And so yeah, it's the most fun part for me, like researching and planning the cosplay many a times it doesn't plan out. I have like over 100 cosplay plans and only like 15, 20 cosplays. But yeah, I really enjoy researching. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, I really love the question about the dream cosplay because, like, when Wolfoty been talking about his dream, I also realized that I also have a dream, but I want to go a bit further with like cosplay making and go a bit beyond this line because I have a dream about if there will be any adaptation of Horizon Zero Dawn series, I really would like to step into that. I don't know if like a main actor or something like that, but at least like maybe, I don't know, a screenwriter or as director. Because I really enjoyed this game and I really enjoyed the topic of being outcasted or like praised by everyone because for me it's like the double side of one coin. And I really wanted to like had a chance and open more this story like in terms of some adaptation or something like that. I really love like this whole idea, and that's my dream to get somehow into like movie, somehow do it fast because right now like making movies like based on like video games is a big thing. So I have very short amount of time, but I'm also very stubborn, and yeah, my motivation is kind of hard. So that's my dream.
Maybe Netflix will do it. In
Yeah.
future. Maybe.
maybe, but my accent is horrible, so I don't think they will cast me.
I don't think so. You can just practice and write them every week a letter to like, I want to be the main character for that. I want to be a main character for that, and maybe they will hire you.
Just in case I have 3 years of archery, I know how to ride a horse and I know how to fight, and I've been learning stunt stuff. So yeah, like hire me, call me. Yes, please call me. I'm good.
Thank you very much.
I would like to answer a question that was on the screen before, but like suddenly disappeared, and it's if I'm looking forward to judging the cosplay competition tomorrow. Yeah, my answer is yes. I am very excited to see all the costumes, but I also have a little bit of a sad story. Yeah, we brought our cosplays, of course, to wear as well as the judges, but yeah, the airlines lost our luggage. And yeah, so now I am quite nervous for tomorrow to just be me. Also, all our stuff was in that luggage, so I'm wearing like a shirt that we bought today, so we have some clothes. So, but we're matching, and it says positive. So, you gotta stay positive. And I think that is also just good advice for cosplayers all around. So.
I think we will be beautiful no matter what you will wear for the competition. I think it's the knowledge and experience you bring there, not the costume you have on. Of course, the costume is also a big part of you, but I think that our competitors will be also happy that you are there and you can judge them. So I think even though I'm sad for you that you lost the costumes, I think that it's the best that you arrived safely and that you can be here tomorrow with us.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anna, do you also have something to say? I don't know if everybody answered. Sorry about that. If yes, I think that it's time to end this panel because it's already in 2032. And our guests talked for an hour. Thank you very much. I have a question. Yeah, you can ask.
Who is entering the cosplay contest tomorrow?
Raise your hands. Who's entering the cosplay competition?
All right. Are you ready? Do you feel ready? Yeah. Okay. We'll see you at 10 a.m. for pre-judging. Okay, cool.
10 a.m. sounds nice. Okay, guys. Thank you very much for answering the questions of our audience. Thank you for all the information you gave to us. I won't hold you here any longer. So thanks again.
Wait, we're doing other panels this weekend. You're doing a panel, I'm doing a panel,
yeah.
Anyone else you're doing a panel. So let's say when we're going to do our panels, because I believe our panels will be on this stage.
Yes.
So mine is about how to create a long-term sustainability in cosplays, like beyond social media. So that is at 11:30 on Sunday. So come and learn how you can beat the social media algorithm.
Yeah, for myself, I will have a panel, I think on Saturday at 7 p.m.
they can check in program.
Yeah, so you can find all the information in this program. I will tell in advance that it's a hard panel and I would put a trigger warning on it, but yeah, if you're interested in some like how society, how communities react to some like crucial stuff, like then you can like kind of keep eye on it.
So I love working with foam because I'm very cheap and foam is super cheap. So it's the most versatile medium that I feel. So I love working with it. And me and Anaelic are going to take a workshop on that on Sunday, 10:30 a.m. So we're going to talk about some advanced foam crafting techniques that I've learned over the years. The Vedic, I'm bringing the Indian, Tantra and all those things. So I hope I see you guys there. The advantage is that if you come for my workshop at 10:30, you'll also get the 11:30 workshop for Yaya Han. So it's not too much difference.
You can also speak with our guests. They will be on the con, so if you meet them, you can, if they won't mind you, you can speak to them, ask them questions, and they will also have panels here, and they will be at the tables at the cosplay corner there, so you can also meet them there.
We love meeting cosplayers. We love answering things. Just make sure you follow us on our social media handle. Samir Tikka Masala, guys.
We are also doing a panel on Saturday evening right before Phoenix. So we are also a duo package.
So, come see us tomorrow at 6 o'clock.
Thank you. It's a panel about corsetry. We're going to do all the ins and outs of corsetry, body shaping, what to do, what not to do. It's a personal passion. It's really fun. So I hope to see you guys there.
Thank you. I think that's all. So I hope you will enjoy the rest of our programs and communicate with our hosts as well. Go visit them. They are here for you. Don't know what that is. Thank you very much. Again, I won't hold you any longer. Thank you very much for your time.